The tense relationship between the United States and China, evident in their competitive standoff, was discussed during a 3.5-hour meeting at the G20 summit. Despite attempts at negotiation, the rivalry between these major economic powers remains intense, with mutually detrimental policies often at play. And yes, cross purposes, yes. According to World Bank and UNData from 2020, the United States ranks first in terms of the largest GDP. Meanwhile, according to ImpData China, it is ahead with a GDP of 30 trillion US, while the United States has a GDP of 25 trillion US and having such a huge GDP. The States also has the largest debt. It ranks first and highest in the history of debt list with 31. 5 trillion USD now. As large as the United States, its total debt is around 2 trillion USD, ranking at 13. Despite this, the unemployment rate in China is higher than in the United States. Data from 2022 shows a rate of about 550, with no decrease observed. This rate is even considered the highest in history. The United States, on the other hand, recorded a rate of 3. Serenity has increased from before, but is still deemed acceptable. Also interesting to discuss is the role of both countries in market capitalization, how strongly the companies from these two nations dominate the market, according to data from companiesmarketcap.com. America leads by placing its giant companies in the top 100. There are a total of 64 American companies, while China has only 9, however, in terms of revenue from commodity exports. China is still superior, and even the world's largest exporter, its leading export commodities are machinery and transport equipment. Valued at 1.2 trillion USD, America only records about 800 billion USD in terms of oil and gas reserves. China is significantly behind. China ranks 6th, with a production value of 3.9 million barrels per day. In contrast, America is in first place with a total of 16.5 million barrels per day, contributing to 18. Part of the world's oil production, the United States foreign debt is swelling due to its ballooning national budget. The United States has a budget deficit of 15.8. China records a budget deficit of 11.4. The cause is some provincial governments experiencing a gap between income and expenditure. Considering the foreign debt of the United States, it's quite ironic given the vast amount in terms of area the United States and China are very close. The United States has an area of about 796 million square miles, slightly larger than China's 3.74 million square miles. When compared in terms of education, it is difficult to determine who is stronger, however, in the United States. Literacy rates are estimated to be around 99, meaning only about 1 are considered illiterate. Meanwhile, China's literacy rate stands at 95. Regarding the ranking of universities, we will use the standards of top universities. To evaluate the world's universities, despite China having the world's largest population, it only has 2565 universities, ranking 3rd. The United States ranks 2nd with 3. 216 universities of the top 20 universities listed, 8 are in the United States, while only 2 are in China. Comparing the two countries in terms of health, the first aspect to consider is the level of happiness in China. The happiness level ranks 80W 2nd. Experts attribute this to the cost of living and pollution in the United States. Ranks 10th in this regard. Regarding healthcare facilities, China scores 67, while the United States scores 71. This is because the average life expectancy in China is lower at 76 years compared to the United States, which is 80 years. Additionally, the ratio of doctors in both countries is different based on the number of doctors per 1,000 people. The United States has more with 2. 3 per 1,000 people compared to China ratio of 1.51 per 1,000 people. Regarding the sporting achievements of both countries, the United States is the most successful nation in the Olympics since the inception of the Summer and Winter Olympics. The United States has collected 2941 medals, including 166 gold, 948 silver, and 827 bronze medals. Meanwhile, China ranked 7th in the list of countries with the most Olympic medals. In total, China has won 696 and 194 bronze medals. The military might be the answer. As to why the United States continues to swell, the reason is that this country has the largest military power and the most expensive defense budget in the world. The United States has invested invested as much as $738 billion. Yes, in its military in comparison, China ranked second with a defense budget of $193. $3 billion. This means the United States defense budget is 3 times larger than China's in terms of military strength. The United States has 1,832,000 personnel with a total of 390,000 active personnel. Its army's arsenal includes 6,612 tanks, 451 193 armored vehicles, 339 artillery units in 1498 self-propelled artillery units and 1336 rocket launchers. China ranks as the 3rd strongest military with a total personnel count of 34,000, including 2 million active personnel. The United States also has the most military bases, totaling 845 bases, are spread across 80 countries worldwide. In contrast, China only has 5 bases. In fact, the United States has 3 times as many bases as all other countries in the world. Combined, so who do you think is stronger? Write in the comments below.